What's good, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's a big day. Omega TV says very early. Yes, very early. You are indeed. Early, the market's down. We released a launch pad. Emblem Stakers going to be getting tokens. A few tokens live. We're going to dive into everything. Emblem Launchpad. If you guys knew everything that was going on behind the scenes, man, you would cry. But exciting times ahead. Did you guys get any sleep today?
Bro, it's so funny. And we were joking before the show. It's like, oh, nothing's broke yet. I'm like, bro, we know something is gonna break along the way. It's just the way tech is really fucking hard. And I'm reminded every time I jump on a space and somebody send me an invite to co-host the space, and it's the tiniest of little sliver of button right at the very bottom of the screen. And I'm like, just like X can't even get this shit right. It's so fucking hard. Everything is hard, and so knock on wood, nothing's broken yet, but I'm sure something will today. But that's what we're here for, man. We're here for this journey. So excited.
That we are. I'm pinning up to the top the announcement thread. If you haven't reshared it, please do, so that we could get everybody in on the fun and the action. Chris, how we feeling today? Our intelligent overlord.
Yeah, what's good? Man, a huge step for the whole company. This kind of just brings everything together, have the #1 undisputed crypto app building platform through Emblem Build, really been getting a lot of traction. This is a token industry. This industry was built on the innovation of being able to freely trade tokens all over the world through these tokenized networks. And this is a huge step. So not only do we have a builder platform where you can build applications, but now you can tokenize those applications themselves. The era of just empty, unbacked tokens by, completely nothing is over. And, it's time to really start bringing startups and different kinds of businesses and ideas and all these different real innovations that are available on chain and be able to tokenize them directly in a way that ties the actual token to the business, to the startup, to the gamer, to what the application in general. So huge step. I think obviously we're the only ones doing it. And this is, I think we'll see more of this in the future.
Absolutely, man. We've been working on the Launchpad for, it's probably been a few months now at this point. There's a lot of unique aspects to it, which I hope to cover today, as well as any questions anybody may have. And we're certain to make sure that everybody was covered. The Emblem Stakers are going to be eaten, man. Whenever the Launchpad takes off, 1.5%, that is fixed on the Launchpad. 1.5% of all tokens, of every single bonded token on the Launchpad, gets distributed to Emblem Stakers. That vests over a 90-day period. We did a 3-day cliff instead of a 14-day cliff like we do with Migrate Fun. And because Launchpad ecosystems, right, the tokens have a little bit of a less lifespan. And so we decided to, implement 3 days. Maybe we'll end up with 0 days. We'll kind of see.
We were saying it should be 3 minutes, bro. I don't know.
3 seconds, right?
This is modifiable, right? Yeah, it's this is like Emblem Stakers, bro. Well, we got what? 20 some odd % of people stake their emblem, and you got to reward those people, man. And this is like, we think it's innovative and a great way to kind of bring value back to Emblem Stakers and get people involved in the Launchpad. Like, pay attention to what's going on, what's happening. Yeah, but that can all change, and so we've thrown out a first shot, but obviously can change as we get feedback and tokens actually start bonding.
Let's see how the market is responding. Emblem token is up today. It's up 20% on the announcement. So it seems like everyone likes what there is here. No dumping, right? Maybe we finally chewed through that Mexi wall that was never ending. But
what do they say in the chat? It's like, why are the bots dumping the token every time it pumps? I don't know. I'd expect it to dump too. I mean, I don't know. Jake can maybe explain the way the interface works with these centralized exchanges and the ARB bots that guys set up. I mean, the only way to get through them, in my view, and this is the smooth brain view, people just have to buy more. Like, you got
to chew through the supply.
You rip through it, and those become unprofitable, and then that's it, and then it rips higher. That's just seems like the way it works.
Wouldn't that be glorious if the day we release the Launchpad is the day that the R bots have finally been deployed? We'll see. But shout out to Emblem stakers and Emblem holders. 2,000, almost 2,000 holders, 1,996 holders. Everything is going well for the token on 40K in volume. Before we do dive into the specifics of what happened today and kind of through the platform, there is a shills campaign ongoing. The current rate right now is 20. We started at $20 per 1,000 views. I think it's up to like $25 now. One of the largest or larger ones on the shills platform. There's no emblem holding requirement, which was the first shills campaign that we did. This time we're just running it back, right? We distributed emblem to 1,100 different users through the Migrate Fund campaign, just to kind of show here. 1,138 people claimed emblem, right? So they'll be receiving rewards from Migrate Fund and from the Launchpad. But we also got some supply back, right, from the emblem migration. It's about 6%. So we have a lot of things that we can test with. One of them is going back to shills. We were one of the early adopters of shills. The first campaign didn't go so well. This time we're loading it up with $4,000 in emblem, $20 per 1,000 views. I would recommend just going to the website and checking it out. All you got to do really is just post. Make sure you engage with the thread that's pinned at the top, which you could get rewarded, as well as a few other things there. In other news as well, I want to check out the Jupiter Launchpad. I don't think there's been many tokens that have been launched so far, but just to check it out, there is 2 that have been launched so far. So Bull Season and what's this one? Ticker? It is literally called Ticker. You'll notice with the Emblem Launchpad, the vanity address at the end is lowercase x EMB, right? For Emblem, when you create vanity addresses, they have to be mined. So anything more than 4 characters is generally quite expensive and takes a lot longer, and people don't want to wait. So we went with X, right? Because that's kind of like the old school crypto tickers, right? If anyone traded on BitMEX, RIP, you remember XBT, that was popular. So XEMB, we're going a little bit old school with the Launchpad here. 2 tokens. I wonder which one will be the first to essentially migrate, I guess, or bond in this case. But shout out to the people participating. You can actually go to the Emblem agent, and if you tag the Emblem agent, you'll launch a token for free. You don't even have to set up an account. You don't have to sign into Emblem Terminal. If you just tag at Emblem agent with an image, a ticker, and a name, it will deploy a token. We'll see if people like that type of opportunity, right? Similar to some of the other products that have been on the market. But we're also going to turn Emblem agent into somewhat of an Emblem ecosystem account. So anytime a token bonds, the Emblem agent will tweet or post about the token that's bonded. If you deploy an app and pair it with a token in Emblem Terminal, you will get a post from the Emblem agent that has 10,000 real followers. Those are real followers, right? It was the old Hustle account. As well as we're going to update the Emblem agent account to post about tokens that are trending in volume, tokens that have graduated, tokens that have any type of significance in the ecosystem. So we're going to turn it into, we're here now with the Launchpad is we're here to fulfill and satisfy our ecosystem. So anything that you guys need and want, we can do. Just remember that this is the Launchpad is a bonding curve on Solana. You can actually do a dev buy if you want to buy the token, but we set it up. The metrics similar to Pump Fund. We are probably going to toy around with it before, but the standard in the ecosystem is 85 SOL to bond. And that's what we've set here is 85 SOL. And we may play around with it in the future, but for now, we just want to get this situated. And migrations will happen to the Emblem Launchpad at some point in time here in the future.
Yeah, it's interesting just to layer on the. I mean, obviously having an agent out here on X now, with what happened with Banker over the last 3 days, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, especially when you have an experienced team like Banker who's been at it for this long, and they basically lost that account for. I mean, it might still be lost. It's kind of wild. So, we're trying to keep it. Just so everybody knows, we're trying to keep it kind of strictly around the launchpad and stuff, just to kind of, I don't know, make it safer. But yeah, just be head on a swivel. What's up, Bongo man? How's it going, dude?
We got Bongo and such. Oh, he's on the live stream. What's up, Bongo? Good to see you.
I think the question is, why does anyone need another launchpad? Everyone has a launchpad these days. Why does anyone need another one? And I think the answer is that this isn't just about launching tokens. It's about building on-chain businesses, on-chain applications, on-chain games that are able to be tokenized to your community. Just like migrations, that's the second biggest attention event that you have. The first biggest attention event that you have is the initial token launch. So if you're building an application that you've been working day in and day out, and you want a little bit of a boost to show to the world, launch a token against it. If you've already built a mature app that has a ton of users that you'd be able to incentivize new actions and coordinate your community with, launch a token against it. And then there's the actual inverse where maybe you've already launched a token that was kind of successful. Now you can back it up and build an app against that token and really kind of build out the holder experience and the whole ecosystem just in Emblem Build. So nobody really has the full stack of everything that you need to build and succeed on chain like Emblem Vault does. And that's kind of the big innovation here. The token is just the last piece that ties it all together.
It is going to be interesting. And it's kind of like a chicken or the egg question of what comes first, the app or the token. We have added some utility to deployers. If you deploy a token and it bonds, you get free access to the Emblem terminal for quite a while. It's a long time. You probably won't have to worry about buying a subscription at any point. Subscriptions are $30 a month, $29 a month, or $25 in Emblem. But if you deploy a token and it bonds, you can then go build an app inside of the build terminal for free with whatever account you deployed. So if you tag the Emblem agent, deployed a token with, let's say if I'm Bongo and I tweeted at the Emblem agent, deployed a token, and that token graduates, all Bongo has to do is go sign into the Emblem terminal with his X account, and he has free access to the build and trading terminal for a long time. So then he could go build an app on top of that token. And if he wants it to be a meme coin, he can, right? You create an app for your meme coin. If you want it to be a utility token for your platform, you could totally do that. Or if you want to do some type of unique on-chain experimentation, not on Solana, but on ETH, we see things like fake world assets that are getting unique. There is the real world assets or rare world assets in the crowd who's going to do that on Solana with Emblem Build. So there's all types of unique things that you could do. We're here to support you, and we're going to continue grinding out with our community. I'm going to go through the thread here, unless do you guys have anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think we should go through the thread and then just check out the launchpad and stuff so people can kind of see what it looks like and stuff. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So up here up top, the first thing that this is the thread, right? That's pinned to the top. The theme here, build, deploy, stake, trade. Build apps, deploy tokens, stake Emblem, trade crypto. Pretty simple. That's the life cycle. I guess the question is, do you deploy the app or do you deploy the token or build the app first? I guess we'll kind of see. Right now it's been vastly apps, right? We have about 200 app builders that have been, or app builders, and hundreds of apps that have been created as I've been posting threads multiple times per week on just the amount of ideas that have came out. I saw XC Pinata posted something today, and it's just awesome to really wake up and see these different type of opportunities. So with build, right, 200 builders, one prompt, one conversation. You can see here on the screen, pushing close to 20,000 prompts per day in the build terminal. That is some serious size in the dev world. Launching a token, pretty simple. You could go to emblemvault.ai/launch and go ahead and launch it. Again, all you got to do is sign in. The first 3 launches are for free, so you don't even have to add Solana to it. You could just go in and deploy that boy as much as you'd want. It's pretty simple to do. You can also split your fees with other wallets. You can launch with Emblem agent. So tag Emblem agent, right? This is similar to other products on the market. When it comes to staking, we announced our staking program last month. People claimed the Emblem token from Migrate Fund Distribution and other suppliers. We distributed, I think, like close to 1% of the total supply to Emblem claimers. And we have 28.88% of the total Emblem supply locked. And 20% of the total supply is locked for 6 months or 1 year. So, between the Emblem supply and the supply that's locked for a year or for 6 months or more, right? You have close to like 40-50% there. So there can be a gigantic supply squeeze at some point in time if it captures attention and volume. Continuing on in the thread. So a cool thing here, all bonded tokens on the Emblem Launchpad distribute 1.5% of the total supply to the Emblem stakers. Emblem stakers have already received 18 tokens from Migrate Fund and from donations from the Migrate Fund alumni. So here, in some situations or in some ecosystems, there's 5 or 10 bonded tokens that happen per day, right? Pump Fund obviously I think has like a few hundred. So they're crushing it, right? They have literally 99% stranglehold on the industry. But
we just want 5%, bro. 5% is all we want. We are not coming for pump. We are not coming for pump. We just want a little bit, a little slice.
And we can, right? We have tools that they don't. They have tools that we don't. And the world is quite big. The on-chain world, maybe not so much, but once everyone comes on chain, then you can. The trading terminal, it's the same trading terminal that you've experienced. A lot of people used it last year to find meme coins, using intelligence and tooling to find trades that exist still today. We did announce our integration with Definitive the other day. So we do use Definitive for our advanced ordering. And we shared an article. The funny part is when we release threads like this or products, we put the article out first and then we do the thread like an hour later. Nobody ever reads the article. But literally the article will sit there with the most important information for like an hour and no one reads it. It's not until the thread goes live to where people start buying and speculating and such. It's kind of funny how funny the industry is. So the article's got, I guess, like a little bit more specific information, but we'll just go to the site here. Our lovely Chris put a lot of amazing features into here. But before I do dive into a little bit more of the tutorial, anything from you guys?
For me, I think it's just another way, the staking component of it, where you bond a token that you launch and it's distributed 1.5% to Emblem stakers, really aligns our community with the token launcher. So immediately out of the gate, you bond a token, you get 1,000+ holders overnight, right? That know about your token, that market it for you, and that kind of have some sort of skin in the game to want to see it succeed. And so that's a total difference right there in itself. And it's just that, we're at the earliest days of the on-chain economy. And we believe that tokenizing your product and business is, number one, the best way to get attention. Number two, probably the best way to gain extreme virality and probably increase revenue. So not only, no longer are the days where you have to go to the app store region by region and submit your application to try and get distributed. You can launch it on chain globally to billions of people, have payments in, active immediately. And then some of the features that are going to come are you're going to be able to rev share directly with your token holders. Well, if your app is a revenue generating application, you're going to do all different kinds of things that make the token holder experience much more dynamic and probably profitable, and align your interests along with your community like you haven't been able to do before. So the Token Launchpad is really just the very beginning of a much more dynamic step in bringing the world on chain and showing like what tokenized assets and tokenized businesses can really empower people to do.
Well said, my friend. One unique part, well, not unique, I guess you'd say one thing that's been missing actually is a landing page from our site. We get so many people who come to us and they say, do you have a white paper? Do you have a roadmap? Do you have a tutorial page? Do you have docs? All of that in this world of AI is long gone. But we do have a landing page now that'll give you a little bit of a description on what it is. So when somebody goes to emblemvault.ai, they will fully see everything that we have, the product line. It's a landing page, so it's nice and presentable and shareable. Let's start here with the build terminal here. So you can see up here, there's this is like most of my conversation I've been building. I've been working, guys. I've been crushing it here. You can
Hit
see
that new chat button. Hit that new chat button.
Oh, here. So walk us through. What is it? Where's the new chat button? Right here.
Scroll up. You gotta scroll up. No, scroll up
Here.
on the tab. You're scrolled down. There you go. Nope.
Oh,
Nope, there.
all right. Tell me what this is. What's this deal?
Title.
Basically a sub. This is basically a sub agent, just like you would create sub agents in the past. Like,
Damn, look at that dashboard.
Yeah, what I do now is I create a sub agent for every new app or product I want to build. And so that sub agent, when you're chatting with that sub agent, it only knows what you've chatted about with him. So if I'm making a whatever, an app for trading crypto, it's only going to know that information. And then if I go back to my main chat, that main chat can kind of coordinate all the different apps together, as well as create additional agents and stuff for those like sub agents, if you will. So you can think of it as a sub agent, or as like, I just look at, most people just think of it as a separate chat, where that information in that chat is kind of that in that one unique place, if that makes sense.
Look at all these apps, man.
A bit more of a description. It is an actual agent. These are all individual agents, just like when you talk to ChatGPT or talking to different agents. But most people just see them as new chats, fresh workspaces, and everything of that nature. But you can actually basically program them or instruct them through MD files and different skills to each have their own specific setup for whatever they want to specialize in. If you're building an app in one kind of category or area, you can direct it to operate this way. If you want to have multiple agents attacking the same problem from different tool sets and different expertise, then you can kind of handle it that way. So it's a different way, a different angle on how to get swarms of agents together, working on either similar projects or different projects entirely.
So I'll show you guys kind of how I build. There's all kinds of different stuff here on the left-hand side.
I know you're working on some top secret builds, so keep
top secret ones. Yeah, if you guys knew what was actually coming, you'd be surprised. We always leave breadcrumbs somewhere, but most people aren't really paying attention. This is generally how I build. Actually, is I like this pop out, but actually up here on the right-hand side where it says "Open New Tab," you could click on that and you can actually build it out like as its own URL or tab within your development space, but everyone kind of builds a little bit different. There's all kinds of tools here, like down here on the left-hand side of the extension. This is where you could do screenshots. So you can actually like screenshot the whole page if you're, because when I go back and forth with my agent, I'm literally half the time sending screenshots saying, why isn't this working? Or this specific issue is wrong or has a problem. And this little button, you can also kind of hold it, right? If you need like a certain type of area. And it's really nice. There's a download button up here as well. So if you want to do like a handoff, this is actually how we've learned to develop between our team. Right? Adam, Chris, and I, we're not developers. Our team is 7 people. There's 4 backend developers and 3 non-devs. We have all these ideas. So we go in here and build it. And then we download the zip file and hand it off to the devs and say, this is what we want. And it's made the process significantly faster, but also we could churn through ideas at a rapid pace. Before it would take, months to go through different ideas because you have to develop it and go back and forth. But in this experience, we're also battle testing Emblem build within itself. A unique part here, you'll see in build, this didn't exist before. If you open up the left-hand side, you'll see there's a profile button. So you can build your Emblem, your Emblem terminal or Emblem builder profile. So you can add an image, right? Add your name and so on and so forth. And the reason why is because of what we're about to go to on the next page, which is the avatar must be, I don't have an avatar, is the launch page. So if you go over here to launch, right, we got 2 tickers. Come on, let's go. Everybody start deploying them tokens. I know it's a tough market out here, but literally free to do. Have some fun, right? You could do it totally anonymous. You come up here, launch the token. It's pretty simple, right? You just have the name, symbol, description, upload the art, and it'll show everything in the preview. These are your URLs. Two things that are optional that we offer. You could publish your app. So see down here. Oh, that looks like that's not working. So I'll have to get that working if the devs are watching. You could come here and publish your app. And so what it would do is it would show all, or maybe I have to make them public. Let's see if I could do this live.
Oh shit,
actually.
doing it live on the air, bro.
We'll do it live. Let's right. Everyone's gonna completely ape into it. No, we're gonna do the migration analytics. So what I'm gonna do, see next to all of your apps, there's now 3 buttons. It says public listing, publish app, and pin to the sidebar. So I can go in here and publish the app, right? So I'm gonna say migration analytics. I'm gonna have to download the Migrate Fund logo real quick, and then I'll publish this. But if you guys want to dive into this while I do that, then let's do it.
Yeah, I think this is where it gets really interesting, and this is just the kind of start. But the idea, as Chris was saying earlier, the idea of like, okay, I can build an app, I can launch a token against an app. That's been done before, but the ability to tie the token with the ownership of the app, and hint hint, we have some stuff coming where maybe that app becomes a tradable thing, and stuff like that, where it just becomes a far more in-depth thing where you're actually trading the apps itself along with the token, the revenue of the token. These are all things that I think we're kind of almost uniquely positioned to do. And the Launchpad here is the first kind of step in that direction. And yeah, it's going to get really interesting and exciting. I think I'm hopeful that, we get some really I mean, that was our main focus, is just getting builders building on the platform. Now we've got builders. It's just going to get more and more builders. And I think this is just a really cool way of interfacing and kind of expanding on just the token and far more deeply tying the token to the app itself.
So look now, if I go back here to where I was on the launch page, if I wanted to launch a token, since I just launched Migrate Fund, I could publish the app and it ties it to the token in our dashboard. And this will actually, if I hit launch, there would be a post from the Emblem agent account that'll say the Migrate Fund Analytics app has been paired with this token, which would be the one that you launch. Right, going to an account of 10,000 people will see that. They'll see the CA. Eventually, over time, right, people are probably going to write bots against that account to ape or buy tokens once they bond. Right, it's a vetting mechanism. You can also fee share. So if you want to split between multiple wallets, if there's multiple founders or creators or whatever, then you can go ahead and do that. So it's a really kind of cool experience. We have the token explorer, right? We got 3 tokens now: Rare, AI, Ticker, right? Somebody's smart that they're deploying while we're reviewing this. So it goes right onto the stream. So bull season, Ticker, Rare, AI. You can actually click on the tokens and it'll show you the dashboard, right? So it'll show you all the transactions that are happening, the holders, shows the bonding curve percentage. You could buy, sell directly in this, right? I'm not going to do that here, but you could. And a little bit more information, right? The mint and such. And once the token bonds, then you can, or once the token bonds, some more information will show up, like the market cap or like the liquidity pool and such, right? Remember, we're dealing with bonding curves here. So a little bit of a different situation. But this is the Launch Explorer. And then again, right, the App Explorer. So you click on it, takes you directly to the app. But this is public. This is for people to have discoverability. You could see down here underneath it says not tokenized. So if I had paired it with a token, then it would have had that token right here. So, in theory, you could create an app and deploy a token within an hour, and it'll be right in front of hundreds or thousands of people looking at it, speculating on it, and seeing what they want to do. And then it shows your builder ID down there, right? I assume at some point in time, there's going to be serial deployers, serial app builders, serial tokens. But if the community likes that and somebody has a lot of ideas, then, maybe you can actually change the narrative where it's okay to deploy 10 apps with 10 tokens because you're just waiting to see what hits. Remember, we have app builders who are building on Bitcoin. They're building on Solana. They're building on Ethereum. They're building on Robinhood. We've been building for 10 years. The company was founded in 2016. The NFT product, the NFT Bridge, launched in 2020. Migrate Fund or Emblem Terminal launched in 2024 on Solana, and Migrate Fund launched on Solana in 2025. And now we have the Emblem Terminal kind of wrapping it all together. There's 2 other tabs here. This is the staking terminal. As you can see, it already shows the same number that I showed you here on Migrate Fund. That's because they share the same program. They are 2 platforms that share one staking terminal. I don't know if that's ever been done before, but we're trying out new things, new experimentations. So it'll show here, if you stake here on emblemvault.ai, right? This is a new wallet that you're going to be using from your Migrate Fund account because all vaults that are created have their own internal wallets, multi-chain wallet. But if I stake here, I'm getting the same rewards as the people who are staking on Migrate Fund. And it's both 1.5% of all bonded tokens on the Launchpad and up to 1.5% of tokens from all migrating projects. Migrating projects, if you remember, the lower the turnout of participation, the max is 1.5%, right? We don't want to penalize people who have a 90%, although that doesn't ever happen. If somebody ends up with 70% migration participation, then the total is much lower. Like you could see here, Fat Cat, which was one of the migrations, I believe they had about 70% migrated, so it ended up being 9.9 million. PEP, I think, had like 40% migrated, and that ends up being 12 million. And the reason why is if somebody migrates 50% of the supply and no one else claims, the team is getting back 50% of the supply, and they need holders. There's 1,000 people, currently 1,100 stakers, who are then going to be on-chain unique holders when they claim. So essentially every project that bonds, every project that migrates, you get 1,000 new holders within Migrate Fund 14 days and the Launchpad 3 days, as long as people come to claim. That's one big issue we've seen with migrations is that a lot of projects that migrate and tokens that launch, they don't reach this like threshold of 1,000 holders, which is what Jupiter and a lot of these token verification platforms do. Basically, it's holders times volume. But if you don't have over 1,000 holders, then a lot of times you get a 0 rating for the token itself. And then you don't show up on all these different discovery platforms across the board. Very prevalent on Solana, also exists on EVM. So we're trying to solve multiple things here. Emblem stakers are rewarded. The Emblem holder base is generally a holder base or not a high frequency trading group. I mean, for the fact they're staking 20% of the total supply for 6 months or 1 year shows that they're long on the ecosystem. They're not here to trade. They're here to, bull post and hold. And we're attempting to grow that out. Final tab here, the trade terminal. This is what's existed. This was actually the first thing we ever built. So we had trade terminal first, build, and then launch and stake are new today. Here you can ask for full market reports on the day. You can ask for advanced trading, right? Things like buy pump token, buy Emblem when the price drops by 50% and sell it when the price increases to 50 million market cap, right? You could do different things like that. You could launch tokens here. You could buy NFTs, place bets on Polymarket, and track wallets. There's a lot of stuff. And up here, you can see the wallet is actually synonymous across the board here. So if you're in trade, it shows you the multi-chain wallet of Solana, Ethereum, BNB, Polygon, Base, Hedera, and Bitcoin, right? We do support Bitcoin because we are Emblem Vault.
You can launch apps against any of those chains. So think of it as you're at the center of all these different blockchains that you can tokenize on. You can launch your applications on. The Solana token launcher is just one of the first at the moment. But sorry, go ahead, Jake, and then I'll go after you.
That's it, really. Like that's pretty much, the terminal. It's fully inclusive startup business, launch tokens. You could launch memes if you want. You don't have to use the terminal. You could just literally just launch a token that's related to the Emblem eco, right? Emblem brought Rare Pepe over to Ethereum in 2020. Very close relationship with the Bitcoin community. And there's a lot of mimetic opportunities. There's also a lot of opportunities to build apps. You know, this thing, how this really works in crypto is it's very slow in the beginning unless it's very forced, right? Or crimed or whatever you want to call it. And then at some point, there's going to be an app that takes off with a token that catches all the attention. People are going to be like, oh, what is this? Oh, it's an Emblem Launchpad. What is this crazy thing? Oh, they also own Migrate Fund, right? What the hell is Emblem? And you know, it takes off. But we're here committed, building day in and day out. And we have a lot of builders and opportunities for people to deploy tokens and applications.
Yeah, I think like even the staking and stuff, dude, it's a sick fucking program. And I know our whales are fucking pumped because they're gonna make a shit ton on all those tokens. And you know the way it is, bro. It's like once you have one runner here and that gets distributed to stakers, people are gonna shit their fucking pants, right? It's yeah, so very excited obviously, because we're big, huge holders of the Emblem token. But just for the entire ecosystem, it's just very few companies can do this much stuff. And with a small team, bro, it's really fucking incredible. And not to toot our own horns, but what a fucking team. Jake, incredible, dude. It's like literally, if y'all saw behind the scenes the amount of work that Jake can do, it's unfucking believable. Jake's a killer, bro.
We're here to play serious, and this isn't it. That's surprising. People forget we have multiple products, right?
Bro,
not just the
dude,
terminal.
we got the smoke coming this week. This week is going to be fucking smoke, dude. Get ready. Buckle up, bro.
I think, like, you know, the Launchpad era of crypto really changed everything. It almost kind of like created a fatigue in the market where there's tokens for everything, but that there's nothing more than the token. And so if you think of Emblem like a central command system where it's specifically tooled to build crypto applications and on-chain products. But all these people, they're launching these tokens on Pump Fund. They're building in Claude. They have ChatGPT codecs when they can just come to Emblem Build and have the full product suite that serves them. They can tie everything together intimately and immutably. That's never really been done before. And so we're not going head to head with Pump Fund at all. Pump Fund's a great partner of ours. But there's a huge underserved community and population of crypto that thinks that tokens can be so much more than just you know, one-dimensional like digital token with a picture of an animal on it. There's just a whole community of people that think that, you know, tokenizing your business is probably the best, fastest, and highest upside potential that you can launch of a company. So if you think of how applications are built today, you think of like the mobile application wave. You think I have to build an application, maybe do a small test group, try and launch it in the App Store in the US, try and get distribution and try and get some sales. Well, that's like a week, or that's a multiple week long process. But if you want just instant validation, idea validation, you can go straight to Emblem Build. You can build it all in the terminal. You can launch a token directly against it. And I promise you, if your application is good, if it's novel, it's totally different. If it's never been seen before, your token's going to reward you instantly. Like no other reward mechanism is available in the world. And we're just at the very beginning of the crypto app era. If you think back to the earliest crypto mobile apps, it was a beer drinking game, it was Pong, it was all these things that were kind of irrelevant, but they didn't see the future of what would become Uber and Uber Eats and Venmo and all of these different mobile applications that were not previously even imaginable because the technology wasn't there. So you're building new applications on a brand new global infrastructure that bypasses all kind of guardrails that were previously put on by different regions throughout the world. And you can get instant validation. So not only can you build any application instantly in days, hours, weeks, whatever it may be, however long time you want to put into it, but you can launch against it, build and have an instant community through the Emblem community, just all in a matter of minutes. And so this is just the very beginning of what's a really more dynamic and kind of complex, but also like fulfilling and whole token experience rather than just an empty one-dimensional picture of a spineless raccoon or something of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen already, we've seen meme coin communities and stuff using Emblem Build to basically build, you know, games and fun games that they can dish out to their community and stuff. I think that hasn't even begun yet, right? It's like, I think Cupsy launched one maybe 2 weeks ago. They did like a runner style game. Man, those are going to just, once people get a hold of build and realize, holy cow, I can make this in an hour for my community, or I can make a, a PFP or a meme coin or a meme finder app or a game against it or whatever I want to do for our unique meme coin community. And then, I can launch a sub token against it and do all this sort of stuff. Bro, I think it's just going to be awesome. Yeah. Super excited for like the discovery moment around memes and stuff too, because it adds a whole nother level for these communities.
One more thing on like the community and kind of how powerful the numbers game in crypto is and how different these community incentive mechanisms are that are tokens. Look at like the Ansem token. He is able to command a group of thousands of users from his token to flood into his application, the Bullpen finance app. And now he has maybe another potential token that might come from the Bullpen app. He has users that he's never had before that he's profiting from and growing their user base for their fees, revenues, and things of that nature. And then think of like maybe like Jimothy or something like that, a meme coin that's super viral, but the only content online available is the content from the meme itself. But what if you created some sort of spineless raccoon game or something? How many users are going to use that or just like play with it because it's novel and funny and things of that nature? So you can just build out your whole entire war chest, your whole entire holder experience and ecosystem all in one spot and tangibly tie it to the token. That's never been done before. This is just kind of like the very beginning of building and launching real like tokenized experiences on chain. And we're the first ones to really kind of usher this experience in. Super exciting, actually.
I mean, I'm just like thinking about, watching what Fake World Assets done over the last week. And then, RWA was like, oh, I'm building it now too. And I'm going to be building it on Solana. I'm using Emblem Build and it's going to be out this week. Like that sort of thing. Get ready for fucking speed runs, because if you see, look, crypto's a copycat industry. You see one thing hit, like there is no better way right now. You could launch that probably in 2 days or a day on Robinhood if you put your head down and started building it, right? And you could launch it on Solana if you wanted to. And obviously RWA's taking a stab at it, but that doesn't mean he has to be the only one to take a stab at it or whatever. It can't happen on Base or on Robinhood or wherever. And the ability for a normal person, not a high experienced dev, to churn out these sort of things and do quick copycats in other locations on other chains is, we haven't even started. And this is like day one. And yeah, I think there's no better place than Emblem Build to do this.
Game time, baby.
Game time. Really... Let's go. Game time.
One more, like if you think of like all of the celebrity token meta, if you think of the Jason Derulos, the Iggy's, the whoever else decided to launch and just maybe never do anything. Maybe they never intended on doing something. But someone like Iggy was like, working in the trenches for like a year plus trying to make something work. But what if instead of launching the token first, they launched their application first? Or if they back their token by their application, then they would have tangible users where they can have really large holder bases and direct communication, direct revenue generation from their holders and communities like they've never had before. And so in the era where you can build any application and in the era where you can build any crypto application with Emblem Build, you have influence. The thing before to make really kind of instant gratification type of money was to launch a token and basically rug your community. But now you can build an entire business around them. I think a good example is like how whoever, like Mr. Beast, he launched Beastables. Like, do they have a serious edge against like Lunchables? No, it's just that his distribution is so much more. But what if instead of launching Beastables, he launched an application and then launched a token against his application? Not only is he making money from his app for his audience of 1 billion people, he's also generating fees from the token trading. He's has a treasury from the token that he launched, and all of his users can directly align and win alongside him. Like, this is really the future that we see. And in the era where you can build anything, it's really all about distribution and community incentives and coordination. And there's no better mechanism for that than tokens and applications that are linked to those tokens.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if our Bitcoin builders end up launching Solana tokens. I don't know if everyone remembers, but like a year ago, everyone kept saying the Solana Bitcoin barbell. Obviously, Runes is kind of fallen apart. And the ecosystem's still there, but the distribution isn't anything close to what Solana offers. And I think the cross-chain community, at least what we've been fostering for the last 10 years, has been to use the best tools available, no matter what the chain is, so that you can have the best outcome. Solana has the highest liquidity profile. It has the most attention, and it's the fastest. It's a prime place for trading tokens. Obviously, because there's so many people here, the attention is tough to get. But when that attention does pivot your way, and if you can figure out how to command that, crazy stuff happens, right? These tokens on Solana pump thousands of percent in a day, right? You have Ansem, obviously, who has one of the biggest attention profiles on X, is able to make a token go from 0 to 200 million in, right, like a few days, pretty much, and still command it to over 100 million in pretty bad conditions. So as a community, we all work together. We're going to be putting a lot of attention on the app builders, obviously a lot of attention on the token deployers, and even more on the people who are doing both. Obviously, for different reasons, it's tough to basically outright shill specific tokens, right? As like a executive or CEO of a company, or even teams or team members, because it puts different types of expectations. But we have different types of ways on which we're going to support, whether it's automated methods through Emblem Agent, or just the different team members posting about it, which we do pretty much every day, make sure that everyone is highlighted. So no matter if you're on Bitcoin, if you're building on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Robinhood, or Solana, I would consider even just launching the token on Solana, right? Just because that is the best place. NFTs are obviously are catching up on Ethereum at this point in time, and we do have a handful of people building in the ETH NFT ecosystem. Ourselves, right? We were first NFT bridge. Still have $100 million in TVL and NFTs in our ecosystem, which is waiting to turn on at any point in time. But you don't have to launch a token, but it is an attention vehicle outside of just a funding vehicle itself. And if you're somebody who's listening to this and you're not an app builder, or you're not a token deployer, but you want to go long on the ecosystem, then you buy Emblem to either buy, hold, and sell, or buy, hold to the moon, or you can buy and stake it and get rewards for the most successful tokens in the ecosystem. That's the point, right? It's you stake and the token has to bond to get rewards, or the token has to have a successful migration, which most of them do, and we vet all of them. And with Migrate Fund, it's on Solana. But most people have been migrating to Solana. There's been some interest in migrating to Robinhood and Base and such. And when those projects come around, let's say we migrate a $10 million project, and it ends up with like a 60% migration rate. That's essentially like $100,000, right? That's going to the stakers over a 90-day period. That's a pretty gigantic payday.
Bro, people aren't ready, bro. They're just not ready. It's not ready.
It's just that catalyst.
It's just a catalyst. Bro.
It's basically you got to get yourself prepared and ready and shackled for once that time comes. But who knows when it is, or if it ever does actually happen. But when it does, people become very wealthy immediately. People become successful. A lot of people actually become a lot more confident as well to go on and build the app, deploy the token, stake, buy, whatever kind of use case you are trading. And we're trying to provide tools for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's so important to look at the scale of what this can become. You have way more tokens that are becoming billion-dollar businesses or entities than you do businesses in the respective timeframes, right? Some of these tokens are able to run to $1 billion in a matter of weeks. Some of them, I think, Boom did it in 5 days or something of that nature. And so the sheer scale, and then if you think for Emblem stakers, do you know what 0.5% of $1 billion is, right? It's $1.5 million in token value. So that would be distributed overnight.
10.5 million.
Sorry, 10.5. I got the scale. Yeah, exactly. So that's even more crazy, right? And that's just one example of a launch that could go right. But how many of them can go decently right? How many of them can go to 1 million or 10 million or 50 million? And that's just one example of how stakers can make money, but also how these token deployers are using our community and other communities to distribute their ideas and visions. And if you kind of dial the clock back 2 or 3 weeks, there was a huge launchpad war going on in Robinhood. Well, anyone could have came to Emblem Build and built out their own specific launchpad, and then you're in the race to kind of fight against these developers. You're just as good as them, and then it becomes a distribution event. So the Pawns team is winning the Robinhood launchpad wars. But what if, say, for instance, just for like sheer scale of community, like Kobe decided to launch a launchpad instead? Would that have been probably the biggest launchpad on Robinhood? It probably would have been, because he has the distribution, right? And it's not because he's the best builder, it's because he has the tools to become one of the best builders, and then he has the correct distribution. So there's so many different ways that lightning can strike when you're a builder and you have all of these tools in your product suite, and there's much more coming, believe me. But to be able to launch an app, tie it to a token, launch the token, build your community right out of the gate, have instant marketing, have instant revenue generation, and have instant global access to a whole community of billions of people. This is like quite an insane idea that I think that we're only scratching the surface on. I think it's going to get much, much, much bigger.
Yeah, we're still in a bear market, but that doesn't mean that we quit building. We built it's almost $1 million revenue generating product completely in this bear market. I saw that Solana's actually about to have its 10th red monthly candle, right? So still technically a bear market for Solana unless this turns around, but that doesn't stop us from generating, building, having fun, and trying to pursue a lot of opportunities. The Launchpad and terminals today, there's a lot of other opportunities that we're pursuing and a lot of different other levers that we can turn on and flick around. Obviously, I know a lot of people, try to focus on the token price as much, but people just continue to buy, eventually it just continues to go up. Almost at a $5 million market cap, almost 50K in trading volume today. It's pretty good. Right. Pretty good. Not too bad. But yeah, maybe we'll wrap it up here today. A good day to say the least. We're going to continue to grind it out. Have fun. Please message us if you're a builder. We're still giving out free accounts and sponsoring people. So all you got to do is shoot myself, Adam, Chris a DM or the Emblem Vault account and say, hey, I want to build. Or if you're a token deployer and you don't want to talk to us, you could just deploy a token. And if it bonds, then you get the free access. You don't even have to have a conversation with us. You just go do this all completely anonymous or pseudonymous in that case. And if you just have an interesting idea, talk to us. We're going to continue to talk with everyone, continue to onboard, have a good time. Until then, congrats to all the builders who've been here today and for the builders of tomorrow and for those people who have a great combination of both. We're excited about the future. I hope that you are. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll be back here Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Later, guys.